So gamification is a funny word to me because it reminds me of the silly words we used to make up as kids. I grew up in Chennai, South India, and my native language is Tamil or Tamil. As you may know, British colonized India for more than a century, and many kids like me went to English medium schools where we were taught to speak perfect English, which we did for the most part, but every now and then, we needed our own native language to make a point. So kids being inventive, we came up with a workaround. We would take a Tamil word, we would add an English suffix to it, and come up with Tanglish. The most popular suffix is "fi", and using this technique, we could Tanglify any word. So when I heard the word gamify, it made me smile. It felt to me like the natives were sneaking games past the colonial overlords at work. So I became curious, I researched it, applied it to my work, which is designing business software, and last year, in collaboration with my colleague Mario Herger, published a book, Gamification at Work. Now, the word gamification still makes me smile. But now, I believe, it's more than a technique. It is a mindset that has the potential to transform our workplace. And I'm happy to talk to you today about what is gamification? Does it belong in the workplace? And leave you with some practical ideas that you can try when you get back to work. So let's begin. Imagine your favorite game. It can be a sport, a board game, or an online game, and reflect on why it is your favorite. Is it the challenge the game presents? Do you like the sense of achievement you get when you play the game? Or is it peer pressure? Do you like the connection and the competition you get with your friends when you play? Or is it simply the feedback, which games give us a lot more than what we get in real life? Now, gamification is not the same as game design. It is about carefully selecting the elements that we love about games, like challenge, connection, competition, feedback, and adding them to a non-game context to solve a problem or to engage an audience. It is a tool to motivate people to change their behavior through positive reinforcement. So let me give you some examples. So when we drive down the street and we go above the speed limit, we risk getting a ticket, right? In Sweden, they tried a different approach. When you drive at or below the speed limit, you get entered into a lottery where you have the chance to win the proceeds of those who are speeding. By simply focusing the attention on the non-speeders and giving them positive feedback to their good, law-abiding driving behavior, they were able to lower the average speed from 35 to 25 kilometers an hour. We all know that fitness, exercise, is good for us. But knowing something is good for us and actually doing it are two different things. Sometimes we use negative feedback like guilt to get ourselves to exercise. Now, the game mechanics in fitness trackers like Fitbit or Apple Watch give us feedback on how we are doing, allow us to set a positive goal, which is very important. It connects us to a community of our friends who can cheer or taunt us to motivate us to reach our goals. Gamification is a standard feature in hybrid or electric cars today because these cars require a driver to change their normal driving behavior to minimize the fuel consumption. So car manufacturers are using game-based techniques, game mechanics, to give feedback to the driver on how they're doing. Some manufacturers, like Nissan Leaf, are connecting the driver to a community of other Leaf drivers to see the regional ranking or the number of trees they have saved. So my husband, He drives a hybrid car, and he is in intense competition with a group of his friends to see who can go the farthest on 1 gallon of gas. And he doesn't want me to drive his car because he's afraid that I might lower his numbers. So these are ways in which businesses are using game-based techniques to connect and engage their customers externally. But businesses are also using similar techniques to engage and motivate their employees. So you may ask, I do serious work. How can play and work mix? Yeah? Well, if you ask that question, you reveal your assumption that the opposite of play is work. Research does not support this assumption. According to Brian Sutton Smith, a play theorist, the opposite of play is not work, but depression. Human beings love to work, human beings love to play, and gamification just gives us an opportunity to combine the two. This notion that play and work are opposite of one another is a legacy of the industrial age, where we clocked in to work and we clocked out to play. Our workplaces have changed significantly since then. We have transitioned to the information age, and we are now at what Dan Pink calls the conceptual age. The expectations on us as employees has changed as well. In the industrial age, we may be told precisely what to do, how to do it, and just expected to execute efficiently. Now, we're expected to bring our creativity and entrepreneurial spirit to work and help our businesses innovate, because that's what constitutes success today. So to be successful as an employee in this new reality, we have to be engaged in the mission of the company and make good decisions every day to further this mission. At a time when the need for employee engagement is at an all-time high, the numbers tell a different and sobering story. According to the Gallup Employee Engagement Survey of 2013, 13% of employees are engaged at work. That means they are psychologically committed to the goals of the organization and willing to make a positive contribution. Bulk of employees, 63%, are not engaged. That means they are unmotivated and unwilling to make a contribution. And worst of all, 24% are actively disengaged. They are unhappy, unproductive, and liable to spread their negativity. Business leaders are taking a look at these alarming numbers and are willing to try new ways to engage and motivate their employees. And gamification just offers us a new way by questioning our assumptions of work and play. Now, I do not envision our entire workplace transforming into one big game, at least not yet. But I do see some appropriate areas where we can focus our gamification efforts internally. So let me give you 3 examples. An engaged workforce requires an educated workforce. And companies that cannot afford to send their employees to weeks of training are turning to e-learning. And e-learning is a perfect use case for gamification because it allows employees to set their own learning goals, take the training at their own convenience, and get incentivized for doing so. Usually, there is an online and an offline component to this training. So employees can view the videos online and take the online training independently and come together locally for project-based learning and collaboration. So the flipped classroom that Salman Khan from Khan Academy talked about for school children is happening in the workplace as well. We've heard about the myth of Sisyphus. He's a Greek mythological character who's condemned to push this heavy boulder up a hill only to see it roll down again and again. There are some jobs in a company that make us feel like Sisyphus because they are difficult or repetitive, but they need to get done for the sake of the business. Gamification offers us a way to encourage employees doing such difficult or repetitive tasks. The job of a call center agent is not easy. They have to listen to customer complaints all day and resolve them as quickly as possible. And as our products get increasingly complex, it's very difficult for one agent to know all the answers to all the questions. So agents rely on one another for their areas of expertise. So many companies are offering gamified call center solutions where agents can opt in to get feedback on how they're doing, celebrate their success, and get incentivized for contributing content to the company's knowledge base. Additionally, companies are fostering these communities of their customers where members can answer each other's questions. This reduces the number of calls to the call center by crowdsourcing answers from the community. And moreover, members who give smart or helpful answers get peer recognition and bragging rights. We all have unique skills and talents that we willingly give to our employers just to be part of a good corporate citizen. But these efforts are unnoticed, unrecognized, and therefore unmotivating. So gamification offers us a way to recognize employees who are going beyond their job description. So Microsoft was able to leverage this sentiment to improve the linguistic quality of their Windows operating system, which is available in many different languages throughout the world. They do have a team of professional translators, but they found that these translations were somewhat inaccurate because they missed the local context. So Microsoft challenged their bilingual employees to double-check the translations of the translators. So they played the translation quality game, and the employees were recognized for their efforts, and the best employees were recognized. Now, and most of all, the employees felt very proud to improve the quality of their software in their own native language. So these three examples, fostering a culture of learning, encouraging employees who are doing tough or repetitive tasks, and recognizing employees who are going beyond their job descriptions, are just three of the many possibilities. You may be able to think of other ideas based on your business needs and the type of behavior you want to encourage in your organization. You should know that there are critics of gamification, and they say that it exploits the employee and it manipulates them to do things against their will. My perspective on this is very simple. Ethics and morality govern all aspects of who we are and what we do, and gamification is no exception. In the words of Jane McGonigal, a game design pioneer, if we use the power of games to give people an opportunity to do something that they want to do, we are doing good. If we use the power of games to get people to do something they do not want to do, we are doing evil. Designing successful gamification systems is not easy. It requires a deep empathy and respect for the player, a clear understanding of the mission, and insight on how to motivate the player towards the mission. Thinking like a game designer inspires us to consider the product's emotional qualities as well as functional ones. And this type of thinking has broad implication beyond product design. It can be applied to physical and digital experiences as well. So I grew up in India, but now I work in Silicon Valley for a German company. I lead a team called the Design and Co-Innovation Center. We are an in-house design agency where we work with our customers directly on their strategic user experience and innovation projects. So we use a methodology called design thinking, and we invite our customers to come to us in workshop setting to co-innovate with us. Let me share with you some of the games we play with our customers in these workshops. At first, our customers may be hesitant or skeptical, so we use warm-up games to engage them in the process. One such game is the marshmallow spaghetti game. So we divide the participants into teams, and just using marshmallows and uncooked spaghetti, The participants build towers, and the team with the tallest tower wins. So this kind of friendly competition helps break the ice and gets the participants engaged in the workshop. Before the prototyping phase, we play the paper airplane game, where participants build paper airplanes. However, each participant can only use one hand. This quickly reinforces the point that they have to learn together, to work together to be effective. For our vision workshops, where the object is innovation, we play the word association or improv game, where the participants have to quickly say or act out the first word that comes to mind based on the last word spoken. This helps unleash their creativity, helps take themselves less seriously, and just overcomes their fear of failure by giving it a go. So we have a number of such games in our arsenal, and we use them selectively based on the goals of the workshop or the phase of the workshop. We find that even the most skeptical participants are at their creative best when they give themselves permission to play. Have you ever been in a boring meeting that didn't start on time nor end on time, and everybody spoke at the same time? Never? Yes? So let me share with you a game-based technique that we use in our workshop in our meetings to help solve this problem. To make sure that the meeting starts on time, we strike a gong. Everyone has the meeting in their calendar, but we strike the gong to just indicate that the meeting is about to start. To limit the time of the meeting, we set the timer to 15 minutes. To make sure that no one speaks on top of each other, we have a rule that anyone holding an Angry Bird plush toy can speak. When they're done speaking, we throw the bird to the next person who has something to say. So we race to beat the clock, and we celebrate when we do. We've been playing this meetings game for over a year now, and in a recent survey, the team members mentioned that one of the things that they love about the team is the way we run this meeting. So here's my gift to you. Who's? I believe there's a Dominic in the audience. Use it in one of your workshops and let me know how it goes. Ta-da! Okay. So let's end with the words of Mary Poppins. For every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap, the job's a game. So gamification is a funny word. But if we adopt it as a mindset, we have the potential to transform our workplace. So what will you gamify? Thank you.